Welcome, welcome, welcome to another episode of the Kat Mak Talk Show. And I have Tarin Laroux from Texas, USA. It sounds like I'm doing a pageant thing. I have Tarin Laroux from Texas, USA. Um, Thank you so much, Tarin. Am I saying it correctly? Am I saying
You
your name?
totally are.
Okay, cool. Because it's a cool name. And you're a Pinterest strategist. So we're going to talk about Pinterest. Yes, we'll talk about that. That's not an issue. I would like to know a little bit about you, how you got started, what you're doing, because I know it's Thanksgiving coming up in the USA shortly, and you homeschool. You've got three kids, three children. You're a mamapreneur. There's that word. When I see that word, this is what comes into my head. And we also need to go to school and do the stuff and also build a brand and also make money. So I'm going to hand over the mic to you. Thank you so much for jumping on the Kat Mak Talk Show, where we host and talk with women that have gone through pain and turn their pain into power to build their global businesses on various platforms around the world. So handing the mic over to you. Go for
Hello, and howdy from the cowboy capital of the world.
it.
Yeah, no, that's really what it's called here. I live in a super tiny town, and there's a bunch of tourists who come in to see like cowboy reenactments, and there's horses on the street very commonly, and sometimes
What?
roosters stop traffic. I'm in the cowboy capital, okay? Tiny town.
Tiny town. Hang on a
And
second. Is it called Tiny Town?
no, it's
Oh,
called Bandera.
okay. So it's a tiny town. Wow. How many people in your town?
I think there's about 500, maybe. I don't think there's more than that.
That's fantastic. Wow. Have you thought of leaving the tiny town?
Yeah, I come from the city, and so living this little country life is kind of nice. Technically, we're in the city, and so we're looking to get even more country.
Wow. Okay, please do tell. I'm fascinated.
Yeah, it's my husband grew up around here, and
Mhm.
so I kind of fell into it because when we started dating, I was like, "Oh, this life's a lot like it's a little more wild than city life, even because you can get away with a lot more things." He's like playing with fireworks and whatnot that I didn't have the experience as a city kid,
Wow.
and I love it out here. And I guess my favorite thing is that you can actually see the stars. Like that's not a thing you can do in the city. And I'm just a huge nerd for astronomy, so it works out.
I love stars. I love my old house. The ceiling was glass. The roof, half the roof was glass. And when my son was really, really young, I mean, he's 21 now, but when he was really young, we would lie on the ground and we would look at what we wanted. I mean, I live so in the city. You could only see like
Yeah, you can
the
count
southern,
them.
we call it the Southern Cross in Australia. So you would see like one of the constellations. We'd see like if we were lucky, we would see three stars. But we would sit and we'd watch the dark. And it was so cool. So cool. So you're an astrology nerd, and that's cool.
Astronomy, but a little bit of
Astronomy,
astrology, a little of the
sorry.
woo woo. They get mixed up. It's whatever.
Sorry. My apologies. Yes, astronomy, stars. Yeah, so please do tell.
Yeah, no, I don't know much else about where I'm at currently, playing into
So
how I got here.
you've decided to stay there, and you're going to be moving out even further from the tiny town to see even more stars and play with more fire. So tell me something. Uh, what is it like? This is totally on a tangent. What is it like? Something I've never really asked. What challenges do you face by homeschooling? What is it like homeschooling? Because in Australia, it's not really a thing. And why did you decide to homeschool?
So I actually had the experience of being homeschooled up until about the fourth grade. And then I went
Wow.
into the public school system. So I kind of saw it from both perspectives. And it's crazy how I perceive it now that oh, public school is a bunch of distraction, and that for many, many years, I didn't learn anything because it was just like repeating the same stuff. And I was able to explore a lot more as a homeschooler. So I knew I always wanted to homeschool. And so my husband was on board. And so when we were expecting our first child, I had to find some way to make that happen. And that's kind of how I fell into being an entrepreneur. I definitely didn't start there, but I knew that I had to find a way to make this work. Um, and I found a lot of crazy stuff online. This was
Okay.
back in 2013. And I think I got myself roped up in some sort of MLM that
Yep.
I didn't fully understand, and I didn't make any money from it. I think I paid like 20, $50 to join. It never heard from whoever signed me up ever again, and completely confused. I ended up working from home for Xbox, taking phone calls, and
Oh,
that was fun.
wow.
That was cool for a little bit. I ended up winning not one, but two Xbox Ones. So that was pretty cool. And then I started saying, okay, but now what else is there?
Hmm.
We had moved, and my son was still very little at the time. He was only about 3 years old, and we were already doing like preschool stuff because that was the path I knew we wanted to go to.
Yep.
And things had shifted, and I was no longer able to work from home when we had moved. The internet was not available, even though part of the reason we moved there is because they said, oh, yeah, we'll hook it up in 2 weeks. And then they're like, oh, we don't actually have internet service here. So I
Wow,
went
you
back
really are
to,
in a tiny town.
I went
Wow.
back,
You're
I think they
walking
have
around
it
with this.
there now,
Is there
but back
internet?
then they didn't.
Yeah.
And, and so I had to
Quite
start
cool. That's
exploring
pretty
other
cool.
options. All
Okay.
those like laptop lifestyle things kind of called to me. I was actually like exclusively on Pinterest at the time. I wasn't on social media at all. So that was what I was doing. I was scrolling, and had just welcomed my second baby into the world. And so doing a lot of nursing and a lot of like scrolling at the same time on Pinterest. And I was trying to find, how can I make money from home without taking calls and being employed? And I found like blogging, and was really inspired by a lot of these bloggers who were sharing their income reports, saying they're bringing home like 10,000 a month, and here's where their expenses went, and they were very upfront about it. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. Like I couldn't even fathom that regular people could bring in that kind of money. Um, and so I ended up following into a proofreading course,
Okay.
and because the nerdy side of me loved it, and ended up not going that route at all. I fell into designing websites for other proofreaders who were in the course as well. And I was like, oh, this is what I like to do. I like doing design work and getting individuals where they want to go rather than hiding behind a screen and proofreading. So
Yeah.
it took a total left turn. And I'm thankful that I got that experience because I, again, had that inspiration from somebody who built a course that I paid about $1,000 for.
Yep.
And so I saw that there was this potential out there to actually make passive income online in lots of different ways. And
See,
the
had
first,
you not gone around and tasted quite a few things, and this is where a lot of people don't, you've got to dabble. You have to dabble to find your home. And the
yeah,
fact that you did, because you thought, I'm going to do this because this woman person resonates, whether it was MLM or whatever it is, Xbox, whatever. Had you not dabbled, you wouldn't have gone, oh, I like, I don't like, I like, I don't like. This is my home. This is my passion. And it's so cliche what they say, but it's true. When it resonates in your gut, because your eyes, when you were talking about what you were talking about just now, your eyes light up. Your eyes light up. And I'm like, ooh, yeah. So it means in your body, you're like, this is my home. I'm finding my home.
mhm.
So then what?
So when I started designing websites, I was like, okay, this is doable. This I can do from anywhere.
Mhm,
And I started marketing my services on the only place that I was currently using, which was Pinterest,
mhm.
because Pinterest is designed to bring you traffic right back to your website. And I thought, oh, that's so super simple. And I'm introverted, but I'm like an extroverted introvert. So I like people to leave me alone, but I like to also talk to people. Does that make any sense?
Totally. I'm a total extrovert. However, I love to be alone.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Pinterest still seemed like the perfect place to start marketing, and it was working so well for me. And I actually just ended up stumbling upon, I think it was an ad on Pinterest for Pinterest virtual assistants. And I was like, oh, it's just like a social media marketer, but for Pinterest. And I'm already doing that. Let me see if I can do that for other people. And so I just kind of fell into it. And I like to say that I turned my Pinterest obsession into my profession because I was all about the
I
Pinterest.
love that. I'm just writing that down, just saying. I
Thank
love
you.
that.
And the whole time I was able to have my boys with me and I was homeschooling them and working around them. So it all just worked out really well. And now that they're older, this was back in 2013, so it's been a
We're
while.
talking a while.
Yeah.
So, Pinterest, is it still huge? Um, can I get on and potentially monetize? How will Pinterest work for me as a solopreneur? And apart from me, I'm just going to be absolutely as if I'm totally have no idea about Pinterest. How do can I, what is it for? Please explain.
Well, I have to ask you first, do you use Pinterest personally?
Yes, but I go on and off. I
So
love Pinterest because it's all about, for me, it's all about colors and I can color block. I love that.
yeah.
That's
And I like the
personal.
vision boards and that's
Yes.
what a lot of people go there for. They
Yeah.
go there because they want to improve themselves or they are looking for what's for dinner, but surprisingly, not just mommy bloggers or recipe bloggers or health bloggers can thrive there. That's a huge, huge component for sure. But the idea is that people are opening up Pinterest with a specific query in mind and they're looking for the answer.
Mhm.
And so when they type something in, you get this sea of results and you choose one that calls to you, and then you go over to somebody's website. Usually you land on somebody's blog where they're answering that question. And then they're like, hey, do you want this freebie that goes along with this thing that you looked up? And you're like, yes, of course, give it to me. And so it's a really fabulous place to grow your email list and get new
Okay.
podcast listeners and also make sales of digital products because they're looking for answers. And if you can give them that instant gratification, you just made a lifelong fan.
Okay. Okay. That's interesting. Never thought of Pinterest and podcast.
I know I actually work with a lot of podcasters, and so you can bring people directly back to your podcast episodes, or you can take your podcast episodes and feed it to good old AI and say, I need you to create a blog post out of this. And then you've got a blog post for SEO purposes. And then you can also be like, want to listen to the show instead. And then they're going to save it for later on their Pinterest board and then come back to listen to it and all your other episodes when they have
Wow.
more time.
Okay. So you teach, so effectively, effectively as a Pinterest strategist, what do you exactly do? What can you do for me?
So I work with like mainly established coaches and service providers
Mhm.
who have digital products
Yep.
and want to grow their email list so that they can bring in this predictable passive income because that's the idea of Pinterest is that you can bring in tons and tons of traffic and they're actually like more aligned than trying to go back and forth in direct messages on social media and asking people to raise their hand and then sending them the link and then them be like, thanks, and never even click on your link.
Yeah. Okay.
Pinterest is bringing them right back to your links.
So do you think it's a faster way of it isn't because you still need to do the work. You still need to let's just put it out there, people. You still need to do the work.
Mhm.
However, the leads feed through based on because it is picking, and you put it onto your board, and I understand all that. But there's a lot of people out that are like, Pinterest, what is this? But it's not, it's more than that. So it's a fast way of growing your email list, which is interesting, and a fast way of you assisting and helping others grow.
I actually wouldn't say it's fast because it is a a search engine. And
There you
so
go. Please
yeah.
correct me. I'm not the Pinterest
It,
expert. There you go. There we go.
it's
So
not
we,
it's not fast, but it is like long lasting. So it
okay.
takes Pinterest a good bit to understand your each individual pin because you're going to be like, "Hey, this is what my pin is about. It's these keywords that you're looking for." And so when somebody searches for it, that pin comes up. But it takes
Yes.
Pinterest like 3 to 6 months to fully understand that. But then it never ever disappears. It's going to keep showing up every time somebody searches for that. And there are thousands, hundreds of thousands, and millions of searches going on for different types of keywords. So as long as you're doing your keyword research on Pinterest to understand how people are looking for what you've got, then you're going to be setting up those bases to keep bringing people into your website for months and years.
I love that. So it essentially becomes evergreen.
Yeah, it is I would definitely say it's an evergreen platform.
Okay. Do you where to from here?
What do you mean?
Where to? Like, would you go to other platforms? Are you on other platforms? In terms of your business, where are you at and where to? Where's the next step? Where are you
My
growing?
next I am actually super excited about jumping into YouTube
Mhm.
because it is something that I have seen firsthand with a lot of my clients who are doing the podcasting alongside with the YouTube and then repurposing that into blog posts. That it's just this huge evergreen macro content to just make everything so much simpler. And so that is my next big move. I'm already recording some videos and I
Oh,
am
good
about
for
to
you.
launch it officially in 2025. So that is the big move that's happening here.
Yeah, you know, YouTube is not dead, without a doubt. YouTube is not dead.
No.
Video is not dead. God, no.
Video is
And
the future.
video, yes, short form, long form. People need to see people that are talking.
Yep, real people because they're putting AI people in videos now too.
I don't know that I love that at all. I don't know that
It's
I love that. It loses a know, like, and trust factor. And then all of a sudden you've got my voice and
yep.
it's just me, but it's not me. And then I had somebody send me a female version of a female with a message for me personally. And it was bizarre because it was a message that was totally not related to the person. And I'm like, what am I just getting? I don't know, maybe I don't know, I prefer this. Yes, I get it. It's fun. It's fun dabbling in new stuff. I'm not going to say AI is bad. I think it's actually amazing.
Mhm.
However, I don't want us to be robots. I don't want us to, I don't want to teach our children that you don't literally be behind a screen where really no people at all. And there's a woman called Tarin that's living in a tiny town and and you're an explosion personality and you're in a town that has 500 people building a global brand. I'm totally off topic now, but if somebody says to me, "Oh my God, there's no customers," I'm like, "Hello, this woman is in a tiny town, building a global brand. Please don't tell me that there's no people to talk to." I will just go, "Really? Really?" There may not be
If
people. Yeah, no. Don't you love it when people say, "Oh, there's no people to talk to," and I'm like, there is squadillions. It's how you nurture them. It's how you speak to them face to face. know, like, and trust factor. I know you're my Pinterest go-to from here on in. I know if anybody talks Pinterest, or I would suggest you're my Pinterest guru. It's that simple. So I've decided that in February I'm going to be doing a summit where the summit that I have starting in 2 weeks is not necessarily all social media strategies. However, the next one will be. And Pinterest, I don't have on there. I want people to know that if this could be your jam, give it a go. You won't know. Oh my God, I'm rhyming. Give it a go. You won't know. But and you're right, video is not dead. Does Pinterest have video a lot? How does video work on Pinterest?
So you can really maximize the short form video on Pinterest. Nobody's
Okay.
going to go there to watch a 30-minute YouTube video. But there's loads of TikTok videos that people have uploaded there. So if you're already there, bring it over to Pinterest. Reels are kind of the same deal. Like you can bring them over and repurpose them.
Yeah.
Um, but they are great for catching people's attention because on Pinterest, it's a lot of like stagnant images. And so
Yeah.
even just a brief cutaway to your pin that's moving is going to get them interested. And you know how hard that is to do with like 3 second, 2 second attention spans nowadays.
Yeah. 3 seconds. I know. 3 seconds. 5 seconds.
Mhm.
However, but then the good thing is you quickly pin it or you save it. I've got so many saved, it's not funny.
Yeah.
And I forget to go back. I'm like, oh, and then you go back and you realize, because my Pinterest is so old. I look at my Pinterest and I went, oh, somebody repinned it. What is it called? Repinned it. Like
Yeah. Or
saved
save,
it.
same thing.
Saved my stuff. And I'm like, oh. And you went, oh, they actually thought that had some value because it was my board. And I'm like, all I wanted to do was renovate.
Yeah.
Yeah, all I wanted to do was, or Christmas, or, I think it might have been my 50th birthday where I wanted to find fun things in a picnic setting. So that's what I had. And then it was saved by others. And I'm like, oh, okay. Because it was the keyword.
We're 50.
Yeah, I'm actually turning 56 at Christmas.
No way.
Yeah, wait.
Well, you look fabulous, so keep that up.
It's a big city living. No, it's the gene pool. It's purely the gene pool. You know what it is? I laugh. I laugh a lot. I laugh and I smile. I think that's what it is. People ask me, oh my God, you are how old? And I'm like, yeah, okay. I've been around the block, which is why I know a lot of things about branding and sales because that was my previous life. And yes, it's the gene pool. We're going to totally off tangent. And it's the creams that I put on my face. No, it's all of the above. It's smiling, laughing, irrespective, and talking to fabulous people that give me energy, like yourself. Like I've learned so much about Pinterest today that I never knew. I'm like, wow, that is really cool. So now I'm thinking, maybe that's an arena I should be playing in as well. I need to speak to my VA about that because I don't know that I could add any more. So how do you stay calm and build your business with 3 kids without getting overwhelmed?
So it's gonna sound kind of crazy. There's a couple components to it, but the first one is that we don't homeschool for like 8 hours a day. They only do schooling for 3 hours a day, and then it's a lot of playtime. So I actually have like boundaries to take myself away from the chaos and focus in on work time. And again, that's only a couple hours of day because of the nature of Pinterest and that you're not like constantly checking notifications and replying to people and creating a massive amount of content. It's about putting it out there just consistently and scheduling it, and it works really well for my lifestyle. In addition, I also have a team that helps me create and systemize everything, stay in place. And
Okay.
part of my team is my hubby. He's also an entrepreneur, and so he is at home with the kids too. So we take turns
Yeah.
losing our mind.
I love that. See, keyword. So for those out there that are thinking, oh my God, overwhelmed, let's just be real. You also need to pay to play. You need to outsource where you can, because you will become overwhelmed. You will stop, and then you will turn around and say, oh my
Mm,
God, this online thing just doesn't work. Yeah, it
yep,
does
been there.
work. You just need to be consistent. And some of the money that you are earning, you need to give it back to people that know more than you, because you can't do it by yourself. You just can't. And at the start, you do. And then you fall on your face and you're like, well, I'm doing this differently next time.
Yep, yep. That's exactly how it is.
Yeah.
Learning lessons like we talked about.
I know. Yeah. And God, homeschooling, I actually think in today's day and age is such a good thing, because not traditional school is not for everyone. So I could
It's
just
it's
imagine my
wild
son
out
would have
there,
loved it.
so
Sorry?
it's wild out there. So
Yeah, my son, I think, would have benefited more by homeschooling. And
it's a lot of fun.
yeah,
And
because you're learning what you
so
love.
grateful.
You're learning what you love, which is going to end up benefiting you. You will do your world of good for your kids future wise, because they're learning their passion.
Hmm. My
Yeah,
oldest is learning how to code. He's only 11 and he's learning like Java and Python right now because that's what he wants to do. So I'm like, yeah, great. That sounds like a great way to spend your
that
time.
is insane. That's fantastic. I love that. Okay, I love that. That's
Me
good.
too. I do
Wow.
too.
Question for you. If you were to look at your younger self, what advice would you give her?
If I were to look at my younger self, probably the one who was trying to figure out what to do as a new mom who wanted to work from home, I would probably say to step back and get in touch with myself more. This whole entrepreneur journey has led me down the personal development path as well. And I grew up in a church background, but I've never been religious. And I think I finally come to terms with my spirituality and being connected to everything. And I think that having that at an earlier stage in my life would have impacted things a lot differently,
Mhm.
because it would have been less stressful having that kind of spiritual support, honestly.
Yeah, that's good advice to your younger self. Absolutely. So, Tarin, thank you so much for jumping on board. I know that we'll be talking again. And
Yeah.
I'm like, do I jump on Pinterest? This is the FOMO. This is me like shiny object going, I'm going to get on Pinterest in the next, like as soon as we get off. Thank you so much for jumping on and talking about your life, your jam as a Pinterest strategist. We know where to find you. There'll be links absolutely everywhere. And you know what? If it is something that you love, go out and explore. Just go out and do it, because you won't know when you don't know.
Hmm.
Taryn, thank you so much. Have a good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Bye for now.
Thanks, Kat. You too.
Bye.